Ladies, gather around for a reality check like no other. Tonight, we're diving headfirst into the unfiltered truth about toxic relationships. Buckle up, because we're about to strip away the sugarcoating and get real about when to say, enough is enough. In a world where love often comes with fine print, it's time to call out the red flags and cut through the BS. If he's serving up these toxic tidbits, consider this your wake-up call to hit the road faster than a getaway driver. So grab a seat, hold on to your self-respect, and get ready to face the harsh truth. If he's dishing out these lines, it's time to pack your bags and leave him in the dust. Because in the game of love, there's no room for toxic players. At number 1, you're lucky I'm with you. Trailblazers. When he says you're lucky I'm with you, he's not just making a casual remark. He's revealing his inner narcissist, and it's uglier than a selfie from a bad angle. This isn't just a throwaway line, it's a calculated move to undermine your self-worth and make you feel like he's the prize in this relationship, when really he's more like the booby prize. Let's break it down. This statement is his way of saying you're not good enough and that you should be grateful he even tolerates you. It's like he's doing you a favor by gracing you with his presence. If your relationship were a movie, this would be the part where the audience collectively rolls their eyes and throws popcorn at the screen. It's condescending, manipulative, and downright disrespectful. In a healthy relationship, both partners feel lucky to have each other. It's a mutual admiration society, not a one-man show where he's the star and you're just an understudy. When he tells you that you're lucky to have him, he's trying to flip the script and make you doubt your own value. It's like he's handing out participation trophies while wearing a crown he made in arts and crafts. The truth is, you're a catch, and you deserve someone who sees that. Someone who says, you're lucky I'm with you, is just trying to keep you on a lower rung of the relationship ladder. It's his way of keeping you in check, making sure you don't realize that you could do so much better. So next time he tries to pull that line, picture him as a used car salesman trying to sell you a lemon while telling you it's a luxury vehicle. You're not just lucky to have him, he should be thanking his lucky stars you haven't already walked out the door. If he can't see your worth, then it's time to trade up and leave him in the dust. After all, life's too short to settle for someone who thinks they're doing you a favor by sticking around. Number 2, why can't you be more like Jane? Ladies, when he says, why can't you be more like? He's not just making a comparison, he's effectively saying, you're not good enough as you are. This is a straight-up insult dressed up as a question, and it's more toxic than a frat house bathroom. Instead of appreciating you for who you are, he's trying to mold you into someone else, like he's Pygmalion and you're his personal project. Spoiler alert, this isn't ancient Greece, and you're not a statue. Think about it. He's basically telling you that someone else sets the standard, and you're falling short. It's like he's saying, if you could just be a completely different person, that would be great. This isn't constructive criticism, it's a destructive comparison that chips away at your self-esteem. It's as if he's comparing apples to oranges and then getting mad at the apple for not being more citrusy. In a healthy relationship, partners celebrate each other's uniqueness. They don't try to swap out your personality like it's a defective part. When he says you should be more like someone else, he's showing a fundamental lack of appreciation for who you are. It's like asking a fish to climb a tree and then being disappointed when it doesn't sprout legs. The truth is, you're you, and that's exactly who you're supposed to be. If he can't see that, then he's the one who needs a reality check, not you. He's looking for a clone, not a partner, and that's his problem, not yours. So next time he pulls out the comparison card, picture him as a clueless chef in a kitchen full of gourmet ingredients, complaining that the truffle doesn't taste enough like vanilla. You're not here to meet his arbitrary standards or to morph into someone else to suit his whims. If he can't appreciate the fabulous person you are, then it's time to let him know that you're fresh out of patience for his unrealistic expectations. After all, life's too short to waste on someone who wants you to be anyone but yourself. If you find tonight's content insightful and empowering, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community of truth seekers and relationship warriors. Together, we'll continue to bring you back-to-back content that inspires, educates, and empowers. So don't miss out on future episodes. Subscribe now and stay tuned for more truth bombs and wisdom nuggets. Number 3. You made me do it. When he says, "You made me do it," he's not just passing the buck, he's loading it into a cannon and firing it straight at you. This isn't just an excuse, it's the classic hallmark of a manipulative blame shifter. He's trying to paint himself as the victim of your actions, as if he's a puppet and you're pulling the strings. Spoiler alert, he's fully in control of his own actions, and this is his way of avoiding responsibility. Think about it. When he says, "You made me do it," he's basically saying that his bad behavior is your fault. It's like he's trying to convince you that you have magical powers of persuasion that forced him into being a jerk. This line is not just lazy, it's a blatant attempt to guilt trip you and make you feel responsible for his mistakes. It's the relationship equivalent of a kid blaming the dog for eating his homework. In a healthy relationship, both partners own up to their actions. They don't play the blame game or turn every issue into a finger-pointing match. When he says, "You made him do something," he's refusing to take accountability and instead dumping his guilt onto you. It's his way of saying, "I'm perfect, and any screw-ups are clearly your fault." The truth is, everyone is responsible for their own actions. He's a grown adult, not a marionette. If he can't own up to his mistakes without trying to drag you down with him, it's a sign of deep-seated immaturity and emotional manipulation. This tactic is designed to keep you second-guessing yourself and constantly feeling like you're walking on eggshells. So, the next time he tries to pull the "you made me do it" card, picture him as a tantrum-throwing toddler blaming you for his decision to eat crayons. You're not his scapegoat, and you're definitely not responsible for his poor choices. If he can't own his actions, it's time to tell him to grow up or get out. Remember, life's too short to be with someone who treats you like their personal fall guy. You deserve a partner who stands by their actions and works through problems with you, not someone who's constantly pointing fingers. If he can't take responsibility, it's time to show him the door and find someone who acts like an adult instead of a spoiled brat. Number 4. You are overreacting, miladies. When he says you're overreacting, he's not just brushing off your feelings, he's trying to gaslight you faster than a cheap horror movie plot. By telling you your reaction is excessive, he's making you feel like the emotional equivalent of a Kardashian on a bad hair day. This isn't just annoying, it's a straight-up manipulation tactic. Let's get real. If your emotions were a circus, he's the clown trying to convince you the tent isn't on fire. Instead of grabbing a bucket and helping out, he's sitting there with a marshmallow on a stick, roasting it over the flames of your legitimate concerns. Telling you that you're overreacting is his way of saying, "I'm too lazy to deal with your feelings, so I'll just make you feel crazy instead." In a healthy relationship, partners play emotional dodgeball. Sometimes you throw, sometimes you catch, but you both play fair. What he's doing is the relationship equivalent of dodging the ball, then telling you you're too aggressive for even playing. Your feelings are valid, and they deserve more respect than a reality TV plot twist. So, when he says you're overreacting, picture him as a bad magician, trying to distract you with cheap tricks, while hoping you don't notice the wires. You deserve someone who respects your feelings and communicates like an adult, not someone who's constantly auditioning for the role of worst boyfriend ever. If he can't handle your emotions, tell him to take his circus elsewhere. You've got better things to do than babysit a clown. Number 5. I don't need to explain myself to you. Now, when he says, "I don't need to explain myself to you," he's not just shutting down a conversation. He's slamming the door in your face and throwing away the key. This line is the verbal equivalent of a teenager's eye roll and a slammed bedroom door. It's dismissive, arrogant, and screams, "I think I'm above basic relationship decency." Let's be real. Refusing to explain himself is his way of dodging accountability faster than a politician in a scandal. It's like he's saying, "My time is too precious for your silly questions," which is not only infuriating but also a giant red flag. Communication is the backbone of any healthy relationship. And if he's not willing to share what's going on, it's a sign he's hiding something, or just doesn't respect you enough to be honest. In a healthy relationship, partners explain things to each other, not because they have to, but because they want to. They understand that transparency builds trust, and they're willing to put in the effort to make sure both people are on the same page. When he says he doesn't need to explain himself, he's treating you like an outsider in your own relationship, like you're not worthy of his time or honesty. The truth is, you deserve someone who values open communication and respects you enough to be transparent. His refusal to explain himself isn't just rude. It's a power move designed to keep you in the dark and under his control. It's his way of saying, I'm the boss here, and you don't get a say. So the next time he drops the, I don't need to explain myself bomb, picture him as a child caught with his hand in the cookie jar, insisting he doesn't owe you an explanation because, well, cookies. You're not his parent, and he's not a sulky teenager. You're an equal partner deserving of respect and honesty. If he can't provide that, it's time to reconsider whether you want to stay in a relationship where your feelings and questions are dismissed like yesterday's news. Remember, life's too short to waste on someone who treats basic communication like it's an optional upgrade. You deserve better than a partner who thinks, because I said so, is an acceptable answer. Number 6. You made me do it. Ladies, when he says, you made me do it, he's not just passing the buck. He's loading it into a cannon and firing it straight at you. This isn't just an excuse. It's the classic hallmark of a manipulative blame shifter. He's trying to paint himself as the victim of your actions, as if he's a puppet and you're pulling the strings. Spoiler alert, he's fully in control of his own actions, and this is his way of avoiding responsibility. Think about it. When he says, you made me do it, he's basically saying that his bad behavior is your fault. It's like he's trying to convince you that you have magical powers of persuasion that forced him into being a jerk. This line is not just lazy. It's a blatant attempt to guilt trip you and make you feel responsible for his mistakes. It's the relationship equivalent of a kid blaming the dog for eating his homework. In a healthy relationship, both partners own up to their actions. They don't play the blame game or turn every issue into a finger-pointing match. When he says you made him do something, he's refusing to take accountability, and instead dumping his guilt onto you. It's his way of saying, I'm perfect, and any screw-ups are clearly your fault. The truth is, everyone is responsible for their own actions. He's a grown adult, not a marionette. If he can't own up to his mistakes without trying to drag you down with him, it's a sign of deep-seated immaturity and emotional manipulation. This tactic is designed to keep you second-guessing yourself and constantly feeling like you're walking on eggshells. So the next time he tries to pull the "you made me do it" card, picture him as a tantrum-throwing toddler blaming you for his decision to eat crayons. You're not his scapegoat, and you're definitely not responsible for his poor choices. If he can't own his actions, it's time to tell him to grow up or get out. Remember, life's too short to be with someone who treats you like their personal fall guy. You deserve a partner who stands by their actions and works through problems with you, not someone who's constantly pointing fingers. If he can't take responsibility, it's time to show him the door and find someone who acts like an adult instead of a spoiled brat. Number 7. This is just how I am. Yep. When he says, this is just how I am, he's not just making a statement about his personality. He's slapping a do not disturb sign on his flaws and calling it a day. This is the relationship equivalent of throwing up his hands and saying, I'm too lazy to improve, so you better get used to my crappy behavior. It's like he's telling you that his bad habits and disrespectful attitudes are set in stone, and you're the one who has to deal with it. Let's be clear. This is just how I am is a cop-out, plain and simple. It's his way of saying, I refuse to change, no matter how much my behavior hurts you. It's the verbal equivalent of someone walking around with spinach in their teeth and insisting it's a fashion statement. It's not charming, it's annoying and dismissive. In a healthy relationship, both partners are willing to grow and improve. They understand that nobody is perfect and that being together means working on your flaws, not flaunting them like a badge of honor. When he uses this line, he's essentially opting out of any effort to become a better person. It's like he's decided to plant his flag on Mount Mediocre and expects you to admire the view. The truth is, everyone has room for improvement. Claiming that this is just how I am is a lazy way to avoid taking responsibility for his actions and making positive changes. It's a way to shut down any conversation about growth and development, leaving you stuck with a partner who's more interested in maintaining the status quo than building a better future together. So the next time he says, "This is just how I am," picture him as a stubborn mule refusing to budge from his comfy spot in the mud while you're trying to build a life together. You're not looking for a project, but you deserve someone who's at least willing to put in the effort to meet you halfway. If he can't be bothered to change, maybe it's time to change your relationship status to single and fabulous. Life's too short to settle for someone who's stuck in their ways and refuses to grow. You deserve a partner who's willing to evolve and improve, not someone who hides behind a lame excuse. If he's not ready to step up, it's time to step out and find someone who will. Number 8. I didn't mean it. You're too sensitive. The unstoppable. When he says, "I didn't mean it, you're too sensitive," he's not just brushing off your hurt feelings, he's gaslighting you faster than a magician trying to make an elephant disappear. This isn't just a dismissal, it's a straight-up insult disguised as concern. He's trying to make you doubt your own emotions and sanity, like he's the puppet master pulling the strings of your feelings. Let's be real. When he says he didn't mean it, he's effectively saying that your interpretation of his words or actions is wrong, and your reaction is invalid. It's like he's handing you a pair of rose-colored glasses and telling you to see things his way, even if it means ignoring your own instincts. This isn't just manipulative, it's downright disrespectful. In a healthy relationship, partners respect each other's feelings and take responsibility for their words and actions. They don't blame the other person for being too sensitive as a way to avoid accountability. When he says you're too sensitive, he's essentially telling you that your emotions don't matter, and you should just toughen up and deal with it. It's like he's saying, "I'm not sorry and you're overreacting," which is about as comforting as a porcupine hug. The truth is, your feelings are valid and you deserve someone who respects them. By telling you that you're too sensitive, he's trying to control the narrative and make you doubt yourself. It's his way of deflecting blame and avoiding the discomfort of admitting he messed up. It's like he's trying to put out a fire with gasoline and then blaming you for being too flammable. So the next time he says, "I didn't mean it, you're too sensitive," picture him as a cat burglar caught red-handed in your jewelry box, insisting he's just borrowing your stuff and you're overreacting. You're not too sensitive, you're just reacting to his blatant disrespect and manipulation. If he can't own up to his mistakes and apologize sincerely, then it's time to show him the door. Life's too short to waste on someone who treats your feelings like an inconvenience. You deserve a partner who listens and validates your emotions, not someone who gaslights you and makes you doubt yourself. If he can't handle that, then it's time for him to hit the road and make room for someone who can. Number 9, I leave if you don't change. Absolutely. When he says, "I'll leave if you don't change," he's not just making a threat. He's dangling the relationship over your head like a bad reality TV cliffhanger. This isn't just unfair, it's manipulative and cruel. He's trying to coerce you into becoming someone you're not by using the threat of abandonment as leverage. It's like holding a ransom note for your own happiness. Let's get real. This statement is his way of saying that his love and commitment are conditional, and they hinge on you morphing into his ideal version of a partner. It's like you're a project he's working on, and he's ready to scrap the whole thing if it doesn't meet his exact specifications. This isn't love, it's emotional blackmail. In a healthy relationship, love and commitment aren't based on ultimatums. Partners encourage each other to grow and improve, but they don't threaten to jump ship if things aren't perfect. When he says he'll leave if you don't change, he's showing that his commitment to you is about as stable as a house of cards in a hurricane. The truth is, you deserve someone who loves you for who you are, not someone who's trying to mold you into their idea of perfection. His threat to leave if you don't change is a power play designed to keep you in a constant state of anxiety, always wondering if you're good enough. It's his way of saying, "I'll only stick around as long as you're willing to meet my ever-changing demands." So the next time he says, "I'll leave if you don't change," picture him as a spoiled kid, threatening to take his ball and go home because the game isn't going his way. You're not here to play by his rules or to jump through hoops to keep him happy. If he can't appreciate you as you are, then he's not worth the emotional turmoil. Life's too short to waste on someone who sees you as a fixer-upper instead of a partner. You deserve someone who's in it for the long haul. not someone who's constantly threatening to walk out the door. If he's not willing to stick around and support you as you grow together, it's time to show him the exit. You're better off with someone who's all in, not someone who's 1 foot out the door.